If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to also just talk more broadly, just away from the book for a moment, really around your views on education today and the future. You've also chatted a lot about connecting dots and collecting them. I'd love just to touch on that in a bit more detail.
So school, this is related to the conversation we've had about marketing, is a byproduct of the industrial age. The very age that gave us 100 years of advertising also gave us 100 years of factories. And you're not far from the birthplace of large-scale industrialism. And it turns out that in England, in the 1880s, instead of coffee carts going up and down the rows of the factories in Manchester, they had gin carts. There were people who would go up and down with gin because for 20 years, people were in a drunken stupor because we shifted them from the farm to the factory, a dark, dangerous place where they spent 12 hours a day doing what they were told. And that's the big difference between farming and factories, is you have to do what you're told. And we ran out of factory workers. So we invented school so we would have enough people who could sit still for 10 hours a day and do what they were told. That is the function of school. And so we taught kids a whole bunch of things, some of which are useful, most of which aren't. And one of the things we teach is the act of collecting dots. There's going to be a test on Friday. Here are all the dots. Memorize them. And then on Friday, prove to me you memorize them. And then you can forget them because Monday we're going to start all over again. That is the act of collecting dots. And so we get to work, and that's what we do, is we show up at that meeting where we're not going to speak and we take good notes. Why did we even go to the meeting? That's stupid. And we are busy liking this and retweeting that and live tweeting this. Why? Because we're collecting dots. And that's not where value is created. Value is created by connecting dots. By saying, here are 3 points in a line. No one has ever seen that they connect to each other but me. I'm going to draw that line. Even though I might be wrong, I'm going to assert that this line makes sense. And if I'm right, the marketplace will reward me. That's pretty new at scale, and we're not doing it enough.
And what do you think the future holds in education? How do you think it will change in the next sort of 2 to 5 years or beyond that?
Yeah, I think we are in the US. I can't speak for Europe. I think we are on the verge of a catastrophic meltdown in higher education. People who are $250,000 in debt are starting to say, why did I do that? So Harvard's not going anywhere. Princeton's not going anywhere, but there's this whole middle layer of school that's in jeopardy. And it's going to be replaced by a crazy scrum of alternatives. You know, I'm busy running some things, but I'm not going to replace higher education all by myself. But learning this here or learning that there and figuring it out. Because the idea that you have to go to a building in a foreign city, sit there for hours a day while someone live lectures to you is so inefficient and so remarkably ineffective at its stated goal that it has to be replaced. And it will, but it's going to be messy.
And I suppose, staying on a similar theme, what advice would you give for anybody that's starting a career in marketing right now?
Don't get an internship. Don't go work for a big company. Don't sit around taking notes. Start marketing something. Go down the street, wealthy person who lives on the hill who hasn't had a garage sale in 20 years and say, if I sell the stuff in your garage, can we split the money? And then go figure out how to run a profitable garage sale. Go find a way to market your stuff on eBay or whatever it is. Find a charity and raise $100,000 for them. Start a podcast and grow it. It doesn't make any sense to go work at Procter & Gamble. You will learn 1984 marketing. Why would you want to know that? You should go market. And the people who market, it's cheaper and faster and less risky than ever before. Those people are learning something really valuable. Go do it.